Okay, remember that third change in my voice. When one looks at the Bible and sees the 666 talent gold tax that King Solomon insisted on to build his temple, which was symbolic of his failure ultimately, because eventually he goes astray, and the temple symbolizes the body. It symbolizes the presence of a spirit, and his spirit was sexual immorality. His spirit was a failure to do the right thing. His spirit was the spirit that caused the downfall of what was left of the Jewish empire, and it's split into two, right? The kingdom of Judah and the kingdom of Israel. So we see in Psalm, in the book of Psalm, that the offspring of the wicked will perish. Why? Because they accepted that mark of what they think is wisdom, the mark of building King Solomon's temple, of Lucifer, the Antichrist, the mark of folly. Right? Wisdom calls out in Proverbs 8, and folly calls out in Proverbs 9. Folly, the unruly woman, folly that's in the heart of a child, folly that brings the ruin of those who embrace her. So that leads me to my first point. There is no honor among thieves. They are the thieves, not me. They are those who follow in the footsteps of Solomon's failure, like the Freemasons. A very pitiful path to take. So now, who are they trying to impress? Who are they sabotaging me for? Leads me to my second point. What, the woke movement, right? AOC, Jasmine Crockett, who's kind of professional, but she's not a role model, right? She's just a politician. What, TikTok celebrities? They say that woke is what they used to say in the South, right? They say stay woke when they go through, say, Alabama or some racist area, right? Stay awake, stay alert. But that's not what woke means in a political context when we look at how it's more often used than not in America. It is a straw man to get at black people and to try to compare them to the most crazy of LGBT people, to punk rockers, to assorted weirdos, circus types, occultists. Now, as a result, everyone sees through it, and they don't respect the people leading the charge to do so. Obviously, their tricks are very elementary, and they disgrace them to a large degree. That leads me to my third point. When we look at the MAGA movement, right? Miller, Tucker Carlson, close enough to MAGA, if not MAGA, right? Vance, Trump, Musk, okay, the Breitbart types, what have you. They're nobody to impress. They're nobody to look up to, right? These guys, no offense to anybody, but they are very much like circus characters. They're like clowns. That's what they're going for. That's what they committed to. That's what they decided to project for mere money, fame, and to try to save their own neck, which is the Antichrist, right? If you're in the Christ spirit, you're willing to sacrifice everybody and anyone to do God's work. The opposite of that is being some clown-ass punk who worships the devil, just trying to find their life in the world, just disgrace, just a complete failure. My fourth point, what? Frats? Right? College frats, Freemasons, right? Secret societies, social clubs, country clubs. These guys are not worth impressing. They remind me of, boarding school people and boarding school teachers. If you are very similar to Walter Peck from the Ghostbusters, if you're similar to the Matrix guys, if you're similar to cheesy, kind of weird-faced, autistic-faced fraternity guys, odd fellows, weirdos, strange people, the stonemasons from The Simpsons, when you're similar to these people, it's safe to say your opinion isn't worth a haypenny. Point number 5. The gated community square types, right? These people who try to get all dressed up like English royals or something at nice restaurants, and they try to be polite and try to be important. Some privileged punk whose groups sabotage everyone else so they can try to seem ideal. That is pathetic. I pity the fool that looks up to that kind of trash. First clean the inside of the cup and dish, you fucking cowards. Point number 6, the church crowd. Wow, has the church failed? Wow. Protestants, Catholics, Orthodox, you name it, just failed. They think the church is supposed to be a circus. They think the church is supposed to be in a gay Luciferian spirit. They think that the spirit of God is a white colonial spirit. I mean, is that not retarded? Their arguments like the Klan, and there was like 6 million members of the Klan around the 1920s or so. The second Klan. Those idiots made a fool of themselves and belonged to all kinds of different churches. Just dumbasses. Just morons. I don't have no tolerance for people that think the church can lead them to heaven. No tolerance for that stupidity at all. Point number 7, the countless Jewish-looking celebrities, right? This weird chick who played Wonder Woman, Bibi, Anna Kasparian, Ben Shapiro, Zuckerberg. I mean, not exactly chosen, right? I think we can all agree on that. They're not worth trying to impress. Anyone in the nation of Israel, basically everyone else, okay, is not worth trying to impress. Just God and I. And of course, the Bible points out that the Pharisees loved the praise of a bunch of idiots, and more than the praise of God. Point number 8, the far right, right? Maybe Nick Fuentes, Gaddis, Breitbart, all idiots. There's people like them who try to put on a show, and they have the same kind of spirit. Gingrich, right? Bill O'Reilly back in the day. These guys are all idiots. They're dumb. Hannity, just idiots, just punks, just cowards. You all know this. Number 9, the English royals, right? They see themselves as the most distinguished people. Oh, man. Andrew, right? And all his controversy. Harry throwing the Baphomet sign with, what was it, Donald Trump's wife? Okay, look it up. William and all his fits, right? Looks like a damn Komodo dragon throwing a fit. Really, really odd person. Really strange person. Really sick person. Very sick person. They said the next king is going to be a young Prince George. Now, maybe if you had respected my family and not persecuted me, I wouldn't point out that Prince George is a fucking punk. And I'd laugh at the thought that he could possibly accomplish anything worthwhile. I'd laugh at it. And keep in mind, I'm Christ, and you're merely some worms playing some dress-up game like Ken and Barbie like a bitch. If you don't know that, my goodness, what the fuck do you know, you pussy? And anything you've got to say to me, okay, you're saying to God too, as you're on your way to meet your maker. So shut the fuck up, you powerless fucking beanpoles. Like I gotta explain this. Anyway. So yeah, no one likes some worm that, tries to look good while everyone else is sabotaged. They basically look consistently the same way while the whole world has been made gender neutral and all this stuff. They may look weird, red on people's lips like Hakeem Jeffries. And these guys are like, look at us, yes, now look at us, yes. You look like scum that have benefited from sabotaging the world while 9 million people starve to death every year in the world. That is a bad look. That is a sick look. That is a pathetic and failed and disgraceful look. I would hate to see the look on Princess Diana's face or Queen Elizabeth's face. My goodness, you people are disgraced, and you were dumb enough to take part in persecuting Christ and trying to look good while they're trying to make me look bad. Shame on you from God Almighty. Shame on the English royals. Shame on them. Point number 10, the LGBT community. Do I even have to explain, right? Gay parades. Okay, gay parades. The major way you represent yourselves, okay, is in gay parades. Now, I'm not saying the LGBT community are sick and twisted or this and that. That's not what this video is about. Okay? And I'm not saying it. But I am saying if you're trying to impress the gay fucking community by persecuting Christ, it's safe to say you are a dumb son of a bitch. Any questions?